Hey guys, and welcome to a new product offered by Roar3 Solutions, compliments of C4Depot.com. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Toyota Tundra that C4Depot is going to be offering. It's this is going to be a standard truck with a crew cab. Look later for versions with a morph that'll allow you to have a extended cab or a single cab. But for right now, it's going to be the crew cab, lifted with big tires on it, and a couple of neat little features. And of course, naturally, it is all espresso and fully rigged. So let's talk a little bit about this. So what do we have? You click on the root folder, and with a whole long list of lots of stuff. So to start with, we have a high and low level detail, and I always try and offer that when I can. I'm going to go to Gorad Shading so that you have a better view. So you can see that you have in low detail, as we usually do, we try and reduce all of the extra components on the interior so that way it works quicker in the editor if you're just trying to move the vehicle around. But come back and you have the full interior when you have it in high detail, along with some other things like badging goes away and whatnot, to try and make this also a little bit easier to navigate. I do leave the tires as objects, and the tread is an object, so just keep that in mind. So it's still fairly high poly, it's not a very low poly model. And as always, you have the ability to adjust the in the editor, you can adjust the level of detail, so you can get a tighter output if you want to do a quick visual inspection to see how it's going to look when you're going through it. I always leave it on the low, or preferably on 0 level of detail, so you have that ability to navigate a little bit easier. The level of detail in the renderer, 2 or 3 is normally sufficient to give you a really nice output, but that again is normally your call. I say if you're anywhere closer than this angle here, like a 36mm view, 10 feet away, level detail 2 is normally okay, level detail 3 is better. Okay, so what we also have here is a standard truck or off-road package, and this is kind of a fun thing that I kind of devised based off the Go Rhino bumper, the front and rear bumper. So it removes and changes the entire bumper section here. It gives you a nice light bar in the back, and the same thing on the back. You have the Go Rhino bumper with your little cutouts and whatnot. So you have the option of choosing between the two with just a slider, so it makes it a little bit more powerful. You also have the option of displaying fender flares, which are kind of a nice feature if you're doing an off-road vehicle. It's always good to have fender flares. And then I have a camper shell. And the camper shell is very simplified, but it does include a whole bunch of extras like lights on the third brake, and I also have a roof rack. And the roof rack, when you remove the camper shell, it is a child of the camper shell, so it will go away as well. And it has a LED bar that has a bunch of lights, and we'll show you those in just a minute here. But for now, I'm going to leave it in this configuration, and then you have the normalized items that you can make adjustments to, like you want the truck color to change, you can make it white, black, gray, red, blue, any color you'd want. If you really want to go crazy and go lime green, you can do that too. So I'm going to go back to the original gray, and same thing with the wheel color. You have the ability to adjust the wheel color and some accent areas. Now the wheel color is not meant to be overly reflective, so just keep that in mind, that it's you can change that level of reflection if you choose in the actual material itself down here in the material bar. So you also have the ability to change caliper color, because some people like to always play with the caliper colors, and it will also modify your springs, or I'm sorry, your shocks. So just kind of a nice little accent feature that you can make some adjustments to. Okay, and then interior, you have 2 interior colors. You can probably see from right here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit, and you'll see that you have like a leather bump map that's on there, and it just kind of adds a nice little flair to it. But you have 2 different options of materials. You can go ahead and adjust them to the same color if you like, but obviously the two-tone is always a little bit more attractive. So I'm just going to go to the extreme here and say we want gray and red, and that's what we get, gray and red. And you'll see some accent plastic parts here that I've left. Okay, so that's the quick and dirty on the interior colors. So I'm going to go back to the original colors, and we also, as always, have the wipers. All you need to do to turn the wipers on is activate the timeline, and away you go. So I'm going to stop the timeline and turn them off. They're going to come back down. So you have the ability to go ahead and turn your wheels as you always do. And I've given you a limit of about 45 degrees so that you don't, it doesn't oversteer and start colliding with everything. And then naturally you have all of the doors that have the open and close feature, along with I've included, you know, door jamb, slight door jamb details, and then each door, as you can see here. So if I come into the front driver window, each door has a functional window that raises and lowers. So that's kind of a neat feature for you if you want to do a kind of window down as you're driving on some sort of a scene in the desert. Since those of us that like to off-road, we do like to drive the windows down, so that is a thing. On the interior, you can see that you have some mats in there. It's a fairly simplified interior, but it matches fairly well to an actual Tundra. It's not meant to be exact, so just take that for what it is. It'll render out nice and quick for you. So if I just come in here, give it a little bit of detail, and we run a quick render, you can see that you have you know, some nice lighting in here, and it has kind of a clean view as you render this out. Right now I'm just using the physical renderer to give it a progressive render, and it'll make it nice and pretty. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to close all these, and then we're going to come back here to the camper shell. The camper shell, it is a child of the vehicle, and it is expressive in the vehicle, so you have the ability to raise the camper hatch, which there are constraints on the hydraulic arms so that you can raise and lower and they will neatly follow. And then of course you have the tailgate, which you can lower as well. And again, made the bed lining very simple. I didn't give all the cutouts and all the detail, just so you can use a standardized bed. So I'm going to go ahead and close this back up, and also have included a bend deformer on the antenna. That's so you can sit there and kind of have it wobble around, or you can even use a jiggle deformer if you like. But this is added in so you can kind of keyframe it as you're driving if you're doing a driving scene, and kind of play around with that, kind of a fun, neat feature. So if I come in here to the lights, you'll see that we have lots and lots and lots of lights. So with the lights in all their glory, you can see the light bar on top of the vehicle. You can see the lights, a lot of things going on here. I'm using Omni lights to give reflectance off of the actual light themselves, including a spotlight that will give you a proper appearance light. So as a Tundra has, they have these cool little running lights that are sitting here in the corners, and so if you're going to be doing a video where you just want to kind of drive the truck around and you want to have running lights running, which they are naturally going to be running on the vehicle when it's powered up, you have the ability to go ahead and power that on and off, so you can have kind of a neat effect there. And then of course the headlights, I'm going to go ahead and enable all the lights here, and I'm going to disable my sky so we can actually get all this. And it's important to note that I put in here enable if you're using the camper roof rack, and enable if you're using the standard truck or if you're using the off-road truck. In this case it's the off-road, so we'll enable that. Put a floor in, lower the floor a little, and while I'm at this, I'm also going to go ahead and crank up the interior lighting so you can see the lights will light up the cabin real nice. And then your headlights will also illuminate a tail light channel so that you have some additional light for the back of the vehicle. So you'll be able to go ahead and have lots of lights flashing whenever you're running this. You also have a light for the third brake up on top, both if you have or you don't have the camper. You'll also have, so let's go and remove the camper shell. You will also have the third brake light up on the back end of the truck, which you would also expect. And then the same thing, so I did not overlook the lighting on the standard bumper. So if we come to the standard bumper, and we can leave all the same features on here. We'll get rid of the roof rack since we're not going to use that, and we'll enable the bullnose and fog lights, and you have everything running here as well. And this does not bleed over from one bumper to the next, so if you are not using the actual off-road bumper, you won't end up with a whole bunch of lighting that doesn't exist. So it'll be nice, neat, and clean for you. And then, this is a better way to show you the running lights. So go ahead and drop all this down. And your running lights will just run the running lights up on the headlights. So, well guys, I appreciate you watching this. I hope that you enjoy this product from Roar 3D Solutions. And definitely check out all the rest of the Espresso vehicles that we offer at c4depot.com. Oh yeah, one last thing is to show you that we also have an Espresso rig to run the wheels, or the tires I should say, along the ground. So as you it's a little funny when you're up against the axis of origin, because that's where it's referencing from. Step away from the center axis of origin, and it should track real neatly just as you pull and drag the vehicle around. So if you set it on a spline, it'll just track right along that spline and have a really nice output for any animation you're doing, and it'll save you a ton of time and effort to have to worry about that. So for now, that's all I have. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy modeling.